What we just saw from Representative Gil Cisneros was nothing short of a political lightning strike. He didn't just criticize policy, he didn't just call out incompetence, he exposed an entire scheme that's been playing out in plain sight, and it's about time someone laid it bare. Cisneros represents California's 31st District in Southern California, where the Trump administration deployed the National Guard and even a Marine combat battalion. On paper, that might sound like a security measure, but let's be honest, this wasn't about protecting anyone.
California, Mr. Cisneros.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, so many topics to cover. I represent California's 31st District located in Southern California, where you've deployed the National Guard and Marine Combat Battalion in an effort by this administration to provoke a confrontation. God only knows for what reason. As my colleague from Tennessee mentioned, the military has been activated before by the president, but let's tell the whole story. President Johnson federalized the troops after the governor of Alabama activated them to keep black students out of the University of Alabama. President Johnson did it so the students could attend the university. He did it for the right reason. He corrected a wrong. California did not ask the president for help, and the presence of the military is an effort by this administration to intimidate and incite fear and violence amongst its citizens. You failed at ensuring basic operational security by sharing classified data over an unclassified network. This was blatant, lazy, and put service members' lives at risk. And knowing that your office is a SCIF, I hope you are not bringing in your devices, your personal cell phone, or even your work phone, because that's not supposed to be in there either, right, your cell phone, into your office to send these signal chat texts. Your blatant lack of basic OPSEC would have gotten you forced you to resign from any other administration. You're requiring 8% cuts across all services, not to save the taxpayers money, but to fund President Trump's pet projects. You talk about quality of life for our service members, but yet you take $1 billion away from the Army that was meant to improve their barracks and their. You said that money waste, but we don't know that yet because we haven't seen a budget. If the president has projects he wants funding for, you need to come before this body and provide reasoning, not just shift money around. Right now, you are stealing from our service members, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Now you have repeatedly said that you will judge every individual on their merit. Is that true?
Unlike the previous administration,
You will
yes,
judge
we are focusing
simple yes
on,
or no.
for our service
Judge
members,
everybody
how
on their
good they
merit.
are at their job, yes.
But yet you are separating thousands of service members who are performing and doing their job at a high level. They are being separated not based on merit. You know, some of them have been recommended for early promotion and have gotten awards and are doing a great job, but you are separating for no other reason, and frankly, I think you just don't like them. And you are classifying many of them as a national security threat, which is simply not true. You asked the Secretary of the Navy to change the name of the ship, because Harvey Milk didn't meet your definition of warrior ethos. If a Korean War veteran and a Navy diver who gave his life for standing up for his beliefs doesn't meet your definition, I don't know what will. You keep talking about recruiting, but let's face the facts here, right? Recruiting started improving before President Trump even came into office, and the reason that changed was because of the investment that was put into recruiting. Now, I was at the Pentagon at the time, and I know how much we invested in it, and I know how much of the services. And when you take away that investment, you're going to get exactly what happened in President Trump's first administration. In 2019, we had the same recruiting crisis that, back in 2019 when he was president the first time. You continue to attack diversity, but I have always said diversity is about creating opportunity. And I have seen plenty of individuals, many of them enlisted members, who when given the opportunity have succeeded not because of their sex, not because of color, not because of their sexual identity, but because of their worth ethic and merit. Mr. Secretary, when using your definition of DEI, I think there's only one individual at the Pentagon right now who got his job based on that merit, and that is you, and you got it because of sucking up to your boss. And with that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair
This was about creating fear. This was about optics. This was about using the military as a political prop to intimidate American citizens in their own neighborhoods. Cisneros tore into the administration's motives, reminding everyone that military deployments on U.S. soil have a history, and it's a history Trump's defenders don't like to talk about. He gave a history lesson for the ages when President Lyndon B. Johnson sent federal troops into Alabama. It wasn't to score political points. It wasn't to stage a reality TV presidency moment. It was to enforce civil rights, to protect black students trying to attend the University of Alabama after the state governor tried to block them. Johnson acted to correct a wrong, to defend democracy. Compare that to what we're seeing today. Trump's deployment in California had nothing to do with public safety. It had everything to do with sending a message: fall in line, or we'll bring in the troops. It's fear politics wrapped in camouflage. And Cisneros called it exactly what it is: an abuse of power, a cynical ploy to scare Americans instead of serving them. But Cisneros didn't stop there. He went after something even more dangerous than fear politics: the blatant mishandling of operational security. He accused the administration of sharing sensitive military information over unclassified networks, information that could put real lives at risk. Let that sink in. We're talking about troop movements, operational details, stuff you absolutely do not casually pass around like it's a group chat. Any service member will tell you, OPSEC is sacred. Violating it isn't just sloppy, it's dangerous. Cisneros made it clear that in any other administration, this kind of negligence would have been a career-ending scandal. But under Trump's watch, it's just shrugged off as politics as usual. And let's not forget, the same people playing fast and loose with sensitive military data are the ones parading on TV as super patriots. As Cisneros pointed out, you can wave the flag all day, but if you're putting American troops in danger because of laziness or bravado, that's not patriotism, that's negligence. Then Cisneros turned to the money, and this is where the hypocrisy hit a breaking point. He tore into the administration for forcing 8% cuts across all military services, not to save taxpayers' money, not to eliminate waste, but to bankroll Trump's pet projects. Billions of dollars meant for improving barracks, supporting soldiers and strengthening readiness were diverted like it was monopoly money. Cisneros called it exactly what it is: robbing Peter to pay Paul. Only in this case, Peter is a service member living in a rundown barracks, and Paul is whatever political stunt the White House wants to fund that week. And here's the part that should make every American furious: these cuts didn't just take resources away. They came with purges of high-performing service members. Cisneros highlighted the outrageous fact that soldiers who were recommended for promotion, who had awards for their service, who were performing at the highest level, were being separated from the military. Not because of their performance, not because they posed a threat, but because of politics and personal bias. Many were even labeled as national security threats without any real justification. Think about what that does to morale. Imagine serving your country with honor, only to have your career derailed because someone at the top doesn't like who you are, what you believe, or simply wants to make room for their own loyalists. That's not leadership, that's sabotage. And it's a direct attack on the strength of our military. Cisneros also reminded everyone about recruiting. Before Trump's first term, the military was finally turning the corner, thanks to smart investments in outreach and support for new recruits. But once the cuts and the politics started, recruitment tanked. We saw a recruitment crisis in 2019, and if these policies continue, we're headed right back there. You can't hollow out the military, kick out good soldiers, and then act surprised when people don't want to sign up. And then came the final gut punch: diversity. Cisneros didn't mince words. He called out the tired, lazy narrative that diversity weakens the military. He reminded everyone that diversity isn't about ticking boxes, it's about creating real opportunities for talented Americans to serve their country and rise based on merit. He's seen it firsthand. People succeed in the military because of their work ethic, their skill, and their commitment, not because of their skin color, gender, or sexual orientation. But here's the hypocrisy. Cisneros exposed the same people attacking diversity and claiming it's social engineering have no problem filling the ranks with political loyalists, even if they're less qualified. That's not merit, that's cronyism, and it weakens the very institution they claim to protect. America's military is strongest when it reflects the nation it serves. Excluding talent because of prejudice doesn't make us safer, it makes us weaker. Cisneros' message was crystal clear: you can't call yourself pro-military while you're defunding soldiers, endangering troops, purging top performers, and playing politics with diversity. True patriotism isn't about stunts and slogans, it's about competence, accountability, and protecting the people who protect us. So what do you think? Is Gil Cisneros right to call out these failures and hypocrisies? Should military decisions be about merit and readiness, not politics and fear? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this breakdown eye-opening, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. Trust me, you're going to want to see what's coming next.